Hello. Since everyone was a kid, there's a crime method preventing everyone from free speech, unless it is speech that is tactically degraded, no, making fact treatments that are wrong. And they're lying. This way, they lie about people who make proper fact treatments. They're also communicating through misprision, communicating through others, and they make confessions. Then they attach us and me and others to and everyone to fake words, fake sequences, fake relationships to others. Even kids with child offenders proving leaders of the campuses. Further, they're still attaching them to fake relationships to others. Fake news is doing this too. They do this with comedians who make fun of people. Then they pretend it's prejudice when they're made fun of. I mean, not made fun of when that is used to demonstrate how their crime rolls with child offenders of mixed natures, not even debatable, but for them to pretend. In other words, there are various natures of courts involved, preventing mandated law, forging and switching names, enforcing sustained crimes with areas because they need the fact cheating nature people to blame the other overt criminals with the areas, with the police departments. But see, their sequence shifts together. They're forging names, switching names together. Switching names, that leaves people without a means to ground the identity thefts. And they're pretending other. In other words, they're pretending they don't realize because this officer was, and they're hiding each other's crimes. This is also how the Wethersfield police have other natures of police forms where their uniforms, and or before they were like with Officer Poison, recorded, confessed, with physical delusions, and with crime rolls with proven child offenders. Further, with the schools, these are with and as state police, Wethersfield police, FBI families, CIA families, per them recorded, all recorded. Their federal crimes with child offenders, proven and further recorded with the leaders of the kids, uses of the schools. These are people that put tactically, like database relationships, like this person's going out with this girl. So they're going to put him on my class. I had nothing to do with him. They exploited that later when I was at Central. In other words, all these people involved with crimes at CCSU involved with the courts with databases criminally recorded. See, I never had conversations with people. I just know about it. See, but they need to pretend I know people from my town that I don't even know. They walked by me once, like a Socia, a Jim Socia, an Amy Socia, and a Jen Socia recorded and confessed involved with more police on and off the middle school, criminally involved through time, and with the private school next to it, and with businesses next to it, houses next to it, involved with drug crimes that they use for other natures of crimes, identity theft crime acts. Now, I had nothing to do with these people ever. And I walk by them or whatever like that. They use that criminally. It's recorded. So now they can't respond. They have the police chief's immediate and extended family criminally involved with him, with his crime acts, crime methods recorded, using the police station with women, even doctors and police forms and interbranch. Even women judges involved crimes with kids, with my name, with their names, attaching them and me to fake locations, fake relationships to others, fake sequences. Their fake passions and emotions are in records. Their crimes with the prisons tied to them were with them already crime rolls with the areas, like with an O'Brien family with a Sandy Hook, involved with all these people with child offenders with the schools, intercities, further with the criminal uses of the databases. See, that was left out because the investigators of Sandy Hook are also criminally involved with them. All these natures of experts are reliant upon psychology thinking for them is wrought with delusions and criminal foreign influences, a whole bunch of nations sharing uh, identities of the law with psychology used criminally there and here against our own. The Taliban is recorded involved with the what's that guy's name? In other words, these parties are sick fakes. Now CT breaks. Don't, they all just agree to be fakes using the integrity of titles where people are blind sacrifice. Now they need someone thinking for them who's not a liar. President Trump's trying to bring home the troops. They want to. They want to. Oh, we're talking now with the Taliban. Are you out of your minds? The Quran is against the Taliban. Is against us too with the treatments of. In other words, the Quran is against these fake science natures. The Quran is against Muslims who say there are Muslims all the way. They don't understand it. They don't understand because they're coming through sick sciences, negotiated with nations, a whole bunch of nations individually together, group, all kinds of database crime rackets, crime methods. Where just here and there they pretend, oh, that's title. We did the job. They're raising these people to value their jobs as money, sickly, criminally offensively, with sensibilities, pretending it's about that. Their sensibilities. It's not about that. They can't feel good about themselves without, when it comes time for them to follow mandated law. Because these networks aren't following the news, they're faking news and stealing identities of people to fake both sides of stories, fake middle with the FBI, with other nations. And their motivations to it were through time. That's how they're kept from off campuses sustained. They know these people are going to be together because these are child abuse, sexual crimes, even about where people make relationships they like, but they're messing it up because they're forcing the sensibilities of everyone's location used to keep each nature of correlation nature tactically ulterior from our correlation nature's actual identity that is also positive unto itself. So the real causes of why we have negative value nature progressions, acts, and natures are very simple. They pretend it's complicated. Criminally. In other words, we have machines. We have a tactically denatured relationship to nature that was forced. Zoning laws, tactically denatured pathology of infrastructure forced with the slavery of our founders. They didn't have free speech. They were tortured. They had this database crime acts rules, pseudo education only let realized value. Then you're a standing criminal and citizen's nature. That's when it was involved with slavery, not prejudice. You got to be sick all this time to only let prejudice and racism pretended. That's criminally foreign influenced because of the nature of criminality with intercultural rap mobs, interbranch and all leading up to their roles with cases. Military police, sickly criminally foreign influenced. Little cliques inside, each type of police form, each type of court, various natures of judges, retired and standing, criminally involved, police forms with them, criminally involved, on and off campuses, offensive evidence reception predators. See, when they put black with the law, you're an offensive evidence reception predator. You're an evidence crime role with all kinds of cases. You're not being honest, and you're pretending others are honest, aren't honest. These are liars forcing the standard for their roles with the children of the grammar schools criminally involved. And then now these are groups further with the principal sex offender that are involved with their kids, interbranch, criminally involved. They use the courts, wire crimes, and database crimes to force that at first. Fake news they used to force that. Attaching me to a fake conversation with the media that wasn't at all. Then they lie about your behavior when you need to respond and no one's giving you a response. They're forging names. They have forged names and switching names. They're telling people online to go up and pretend that you have mental diagnosis that don't even know you. They don't know you. Even the doctors did. They forged names, switched names with various natures of courts criminally involved with them. Their family members criminally involved. Let's go. when someone asks you to respond to child crime acts, in other words, the police were messaged and posted rape threats on Facebook with the court of New Britain Superior Court before, when they were still forcing the principal sex offender. They forced that, not told them, if you call up, I call up the guy. Then the guy was influenced. He made the confession about others, so I put it down. Then he called back. He kept calling back. I pick it up. Then he called, left messages, made it half a confession about Mike Levine. Also recorded, confessed, involved with DeMorals, with other natures of people involved with Phil Colella, with his extended family members in my area, involved with other family members of theirs extended, involved with the child offenders, identity theft, crime acts against me. Through time, with databases, pretending they were in classes with me, pretending they had conversations with me. These are with people with crimes with two Mendez police, with a Leahy family, a whole bunch of brothers and their wives and stuff working at the triage together criminally. These are drug cliques with New Britain Superior Court through time, since they were kids, before they were in those courts, criminally involved with them. Identity thefts, pretending conversations with me behind my back. No, that's tied to their criminal uses of the databases. Their criminal uses of each age of fact cheating nature, other natures of child abuse, other uses of interactions between each age of fact cheating nature. Foreign and domestic police, military, and overt criminal enterprises, and unrealized ones, but recorded. All we need is recorded for instant evolution. Here in Saudi Arabia, not by negotiating with the Taliban when the Quran is against that. The Quran is about science. The Old Testament is about science. Did not let his voice. This is about the organized crime method that keeps fake science pretending it's other. How could Adam and Eve be about science? This is so many ways to demonstrate it. Obviously, it's about the criminal reengineering of the Campus Marcius that came from before the semi-ancient rackets that the Old Testament is about. The criminal insidious natures that the Old Testament and that the Quran are about. The first part of it, no, not allowed sequence, voice through time. Only the Quran and the Old Testament are allowed, valued out of sequence. People pick, it says no pork. How can you be a Muslim? The Quran is saying, watch out about Muslims who pretend they're Muslims always, but they're not really Muslims. It's not a big thing if someone eats pork. It's a big thing if someone brings pork to destroy, especially back in the day before we had, in other words, to mess up pork destroys landscapes. Use it like a unpaid army, just release it. Release a whole bunch of pigs. Whatever. The important part, the part that is not debatable, is that the front part of the Quran, the front part of the Old Testament, what they're talking about as sequence nature, as value, which is important because sequence nature is nature. And sequence nature is the value of simultaneous nature's value within that. The value of history, true, which we don't have. And we have sciences with sensibilities that pretend they're experts, because they know, in other words, that there were people since founding capable of demonstrating interbranch fakes, interbranch physical delusions, interbranch criminal foreign influences, but no one had free speech. Fake news at the same time, criminally foreign influenced through their uses of their databases, through their uses of influences with their interbranch sources, forcing them to, steal people's identities, to fake both sides of communications. So there was a Leahy family who did this, forged names, pretend they had conversations with me, used the triage They forced me to have to, in other words, you can't speak, you can't force people to listen. You know, no one's, I'm not going to try to explain things to my family member, other people like that, about the neighbors. The neighbors knew in past are recorded and confessed involved with the Dillon family and with the judges and with the police, with other police and drug cliques in my area that have untimely deaths that brought up the child offenders. One was on Trinity College's campus, involved with all other natures of criminal uses of my professors and of people I didn't even have a conversation with ever in my life. Associated, in other words, and people I had no conversation with the whole time I was on Trinity College from my campus that I only know from them making confessions in the past, timed. Like in other words, they call you to the office for something, you walk back, someone's gonna make confessions you don't even understand about CCSU. See, CCSU, Trinity College, UConn, Middlesex Community College, these colleges were used criminally leading up to the Trade Center attack and since. They have been preventing the police reports. They have been investing everyone to pretend they're science, to pretend they're news. News is not science. They pretend offensively they're for journalism because they're motivated to it criminally and insidiously and with physical delusions. They're not for journalism. If they were for journalism, they wouldn't steal my identity to fake both sides of fact sheet nature, fake relationships to others. They even attached me to fake relationships to doctors as a kid in the fake communications with me at WFSB. There are also crimes with the Dillon family or a Faenza family on and off the state judicial branch offices, with drugs through time, with child offenders with that involved with that, a proven principal child offender tied to a former principal who has his daughter at this school involved with her old boyfriend and her new husband involved criminally with people with the education department at CCSU and with Johnny Duke, Johnny Gallucci, whatever. And that's also the people that are crimes on off CCSU and on off Trinity College, which Johnny Gallucci, he lived right there on Zion Street, right off Trinity College, in the shadow of Trinity College, until noon every day. You ready, put it? So we need to have, they also prevent people from a calm means to use their voices to defend ourselves. And they're lying to the attorney generals of the United States that they're also recorded keeping criminally, sensibilities, natures forced to conformity with their own as criminal insidiousness natures. The same way they do it with each branch. That's what they're doing against the presidents. They're forcing them to pretend they're not liars. They're forcing them to pretend they tell truth. And when they try to tell the truth, they punish them. And so, like Obama did, he goes along with it. And he plays a sensibility as a criminal insidiousness nature. It's not complicated what hurts people in cities throughout the nation. Even testing. Uh-oh. We just lost our thing. Turn it on again. Oh, hello. Testing. Test. I don't know what setting it's on now. So all we need is recording. But they're preventing free speech. They have in emails, there's an officer poison recorded and confessed to involve drug crimes with proven child offenders when his crimes forced them further, his illusions, his identity theft crime acts. He's also juxtaposed with physical delusions, but with an ill nature that pretends he doesn't realize. They pretend they're offensive that they believe other people are bad people because they're bad people. That's another way to pretend that they know them. Pretend that they don't understand that that the database were already stacked with illusions through time not let countered. And this is from off campuses maintained influence. In other words, so in a way that's going to keep people blaming other things, others themselves, for what they're not being let a response to, unless they do that. And they're being tortured if they try to do it right. This is why we have either swearing or we have little fakes. Well, as sensibilities, yes, yes. That's not new. That's not integrity. That's not being a gentleman. They know nothing about being gentlemen. These are sick people with the networks. Well, we have to deal with it now. We're fast. We have to follow mandated law. And they have to respond when we have to deal with them recorded when they don't follow it, when they don't let people have peaceful means to defend themselves. Then they lie about their needs, our needs to use our mouths to defend ourselves, because these are gun crimes, bug spray crimes, extortion crimes. I can't go into boxing until I have the crimes with Sammy Vega, also with the CCSU crimes, Trinity College crimes on off their campuses, with the child campus in my area, with the child offenders proven and further recorded. He's also involved with his mother, involved with a witch religion, a witch trial religion, where they do prayers against people and put a naked picture of my one of my former trainers. Used to be a world champion, Julian Solis, associated with in other words, I didn't even speak English. I had to speak through him through a translator. God knows what they translated, because this is associated with Sammy Vega too, with crimes with Ray Hernandez, with various natures of political families and their family members, including those associated with what's that guy's name? Joseph Lieberman. There's a Luigi Guerrera, his sister, associated with Rocky Hill High, with a Russell guy, English department, in their departments at CCSU, also involved with a McGee, but then that's a different McGee than they have on the record. They switch names, forged names of police officers so they can pretend not to know things, keep stacking more and more fake things. Boxings. These are also crimes with the Weathersfield Parks and with the community center and with the fire departments. Not just the campus, regular campuses and medical campuses. A whole bunch of people in the Leahy family and with a Lombardo family, with a whole bunch of family members of fire departments with drug crimes, with foreign and domestic, and with Russians. Also crimes with databases with them, with Hartford Hospital, with the drug crimes with them, with the crimes with various natures of courts, judges, and all associated with the drug cliques from my town. They pretended they had conversation with me through time. I just remind. So we need a response. They're using wire crimes. If you call on the phone to report them with online rape threats recorded, posted as police, per them in the message and posted, they'll lie about that. They'll lie about that call. They'll pretend things other recorded. Two Mendez brother police, Reginito Mendez, Eric Mendez, recorded it, attaching me to fake words with them, and then writing the name of police equipment and put it in a quote. Pretend they knew me through time. They were crimes with the middle school, with the rest of the child offenders. There's a Phil Colo and these two Mendez police, with the police chief and with the state police criminally involved with the area, with drug cliques and federal crimes with FBI. It was defendant, former director of the FBI as defendant, Robert Luskin, criminally involved, and with the media, fake news, and with the child offenders. So now they're recorded using Mueller and using Comey for sequence shifts, for identity theft crime acts, for extortion, serious crimes with overt criminal enterprises also with the area, not just the ones that are military and other stuff. They have Kuwaiti military associated with Colleen Keys, other deans for involved with criminal uses of Saudi families, attaching them and me and others to fake relationships to others, fake sequence shifts, fake words. You better fear God before you keep opening your mouths, media. Follow the mandated law. It's very simple what causes negative value, nature, progressions, acts, and natures. Acts like predicate acts. Natures like criminal insidiousness natures, like wrongdoers, like doing. So they have drug clicks with the police forms and the fire departments involved with a David Smith and a Jamie Smith. His mother is also involved with them. Crimes with a whole bunch of people with Stop and Shops criminally involved on and off the campuses. Intercities with locations, even like bakeries, on and off them. With the Wethersfield police chief and his immediate extended family criminally involved with both the bakeries on Franklin Avenue, and with a Fred Grisette involved criminally with crimes with drugs at my campus from off of it when I was a kid, recorded with his crimes with I never saw him in the same location. I never even had a conversation with them. I explained the only exception was real fast. He wasn't even in my class, but came in to have it about Mike Tyson in 8th grade. These are people in 8th grade that were doing something where they were putting me in the class where I wouldn't meet anybody, and there were people that were going to slander me from behind my back, because these are people that were involved with unions that were stealing money from people, and they were involved with crimes with their co-defendant, the former director of the FBI in a Connecticut case tied to the Trade Center attack crimes with them. The proven sequence shift from inside the Ninth Circuit Trade Center attack context led to the 2006 district court case with the defendant, former director of the FBI. And he had a few of his co-defendants and his lawyer's location, anyway, and his lawyer criminally involved with a bunch of people that were in classes with me growing up, and they made criminal uses of that to pretend delusions in the databases. There's a Eric Jensen recorded, confessed, involved with that, and now these are people that were returned as crime acts roles with the principal offender. These are people who pretend things behind your back. They're not going to do it in your face. And when they do it to your face, it's set up. They time everything. In other words, you can't respond, or you're gonna get misinterpreted other ways, etc. These are timed criminal uses of database relationships where we're going to walk and stuff. That's why I have little fakes that think they're smart because they can figure out how a bomb works, or that's smart to them. Don't think. Follow orders that are sick fakes. That's smart to them. That's not smart. That's going to cause negative value, nature, progression, acts, and natures originally valued too. It's very simple. What's causing negative value, nature, progression, acts, and natures on Garden Street, on Hartford, Connecticut? That's a tactically denatured relationship to nature, and sick people from my town associated with that. Wethersfield Pizza, Maria Fazzino, recorded, confessed crimes with people on Garden Street with CCSU. See, they recruited some of them into the fake criminal justice rackets with her and them and her husband, Stephen Stockwell, involved with identity theft rackets, drug crimes with this Maiano family, with the New Britain Superior Court, fake news crime acts clicks, identity crime acts clicks, degenerate men and women. And that's recorded. They can't deny that without lying about reality. So they've been lying to attorney generals, maintaining them to entertain pseudo-positive criminal seriousness nature state scenarios with the presidents. Forced. They don't like Trump trying to take and tell truth. They don't like Trump trying to pull us from other nations. Even if we, in other words, they want war. They need us blamed for other nations that, in other words, our own schools are teaching people that our founders put slavery. This was entrenched when George Washington was 1 year old. There was already a huge building up in New Haven. You guys are out of your minds pretending integrity with any science, each age of it. You respond now to the mandated law and in a calm fashion. And watch your motion. I mean, watch your convictions, because they're ill. Fix your sequence shifts. Pick one name and sequence into branch. They're forging names, switching names. They make confessions and they use that time to pretend other. You fear God. Get them moving. Let's go. Real fast. I'll show you how to make positive value nature progressions, evolution. We have cars now. You see the cars driving by the sick areas every day. Worse than forsaken. If you see anything lifting, anyone dropping off means to lift? No. All charities are used to further these things too, because they're fake positive. They love fake positive, self-defended for other reasons. Fear. Yeah.